So behind the tracks tonight, in full disclosure, ladies and gentlemen, I can't be objective about this song because when I had a massive breakup with my first common law wife in late 19, well, not late 85, September 85, this song was on my mental playlist for months afterwards, led me into a drunken stupor for several months, which took me several weeks to get out, and all my money was gone. But anytime I made it drunk, I want to hear the song in the jukebox or on the MTV or Much Music video countdown. It's Eyes Without a Face. Now, I consider this one of Billy Idol's, if not his best, pretty close to it. A song that is so good in video format and music format, it's the perfect merge of both. Now, the song by the English rock musician, who was a big part of Generation X before he went solo, came from his second studio album, Rebel Yell. To my knowledge, I think, ladies and gentlemen, this was the second single, but I think it's lasted his memory as one of his best. Sort of like a film noir meets rock opera. The song is a softer, more ballad-like than any of most of the album's other singles. It reached number 4 on Billboard Hot 100 tracks, becoming the BI's first top 10 hit in the States. The song's title was borrowed from the very, very good 1960 horror film known in English as Eyes Without a Face. Now, Behind the Tracks is taking a look at this today because the album studio version is much better than the single version because it gives another minute of his great performance. And of course, Stevens on guitar does a great job. In a retrospective review of the single, AllMusic journalist Donald A. Guaricico praised the song and wrote, "The music plays against the dark tone of the lyrics with a ballad-style melody comprised of yearning verses that slowly build emotion and amid a quietly wrenching chorus that relieves the emotional tension in a cathartic manner." Now, the video itself, it's hard to talk about a song without talking about a video, but there's scenes in here of female abuse with a power hose. It looks like a gay kind of pressurized bicep control, like not S&M, but Billy Idol was big with the S&M community, and like Idol looking in the camera and basically breathing sex, like he seems to be vibrating, and he's clean shaven. He looks probably the most gorgeous he ever did. Like he wasn't a gay icon at the time, but I think he became one after this. Now, he's a memoir, Dancing with Myself. He explained he'd always been fascinated with old black and white horror films, including the 60 French film Les Yeux Sans Visage, Eyes Without a Face, which basically is a story about a mad doctor who was basically trying to repair his daughter's visage. Now, this was directed by George Franjo. The movie concerns a plastic surgeon who vowed to restore the face of his daughter who had been disfigured in a car crash, and this quest led him to murder victims and graft her facial features onto his daughter in an attempt to restore her beauty. Body and all that remained of her original face was her eyes, thus making her Eyes Without a Face. Idol saw some parallel between the movie and the moral decay he experienced living in New York in the 1980s. Now, it came out on Chrysalis and comes under New Wave Synth Pop direction and recorded at Studio A Electric Ladyland Studios in April 84 and released in June of 84 in the UK. Now, he said, "I started to use Eyes Without a Face as a possible title lyric chorus for the song. I began to write words that, in some disguised form, spoke about my life in New York and a relationship gone wrong, on the edge of disintegrating into madness. Perhaps I was reflecting my own touring infidelities. In a way, those types of relationships can leave you feeling soulless, especially all in a relationship that you value but are degrading by looking elsewhere for additional sexual kinks." Now, in the studio, Idol told guitarist and co-creator Steve Stevens about the melody, lyrics, and basic structure. Stevens fleshed it out with a revolving 4-chord pattern, and Stevens came up with a hard rock guitar riff in the middle of the song. Idol said he improvised some rap verses over the riff because rap was everywhere in New York at the time, in all the discos and clubs, so it made sense after my croon to start talking streetwise over Steve's supersonic barrage of sound. Idol's then girlfriend Perry Lister sings backing vocals during the chorus, repeating the French phrase Les Yeux Sans Visage, Eyes Without a Face, the original title of the horror film. Now, Idol wanted a prominent bass guitar part reminiscent of reggae. Ian Stevens had trouble with his part on the song until he met bassist Sal Cuevas, a New York musician best known for working in salsa music and Broadway bands who performed the part to their satisfaction. Now, Cashbox said the song is more subdued and more sensitive than Idol's previous single, Rebel Yell, and features a silky acoustic guitar backdrop and a probing melodic bass line by Puerto Rican New York session player Cuevas. Now, the video, and again, it's outstanding, one of the best videos of all time, was released in June '84 and subsequently nominated for MTV Video Music Awards for Best Editing and Best Cinematography. It was shot in an exhausting 3-day period on a set with fog machines, lighting, and fire sources. Immediately after shoot, Idol flew to perform in Arizona, where he discovered that his contact lenses had fused to his eyeballs, attributing to the harsh video shoot in dry, plain air. He was taken to hospital where lenses removed, his eyes bandaged for 3 days, until his scraped corneas grew back. Eyes without a face, literally. Now, the UK vinyl single has the Dead Next Door as the B-side, but the UK vinyl single has Dead Next Door with Dancing With Myself, which is kind of a remake of the Generation X song, and of course Rebel Yell. Now, really, really dominated the charts. And ironically, ladies and gentlemen, bigger in North America than worldwide. Number 12 in Australia, 15 in Belgium, 8 in Canada, 38 in Europe, 50 in France, Germany number 10, Ireland number 13, Italy number 18, Netherlands 24 and 13, Dutch top 40 and single top 100, New Zealand 4, Switzerland 21, UK singles 18, US Billboard Hot 100 4, and US Cashbox number 4. Now, Canada's top singles, RPM 45 year end, Australia 86, New Zealand 49, US Billboard Hot 100 37, US Cashbox number 25, and West Germany official German charts number 50, 60 for 84. Now, gold in Brazil, Italy, New Zealand, and UK. Now, the lyrics themselves, not to say it's abusive or aggressive, but it's not really romantic. The lead-in was really, really heavy. I'm all out of hope, but one more bad dream could bring a fall. When I'm far from home, don't call me on the phone to tell me you're alone. It's easy to deceive, it's easy to tease, but hard to get release. Of course, the eyes without a face. I spent so much time believing all the lies to keep the dream alive. Now it makes me sad, it makes me mad at truth for loving what was you. When I hear the music, you make a dip into someone else's pocket, then make a slip. Steal a card and go to Las Vegas is the up-tempo. Ooh, gigolo pool. Hanging out by the state line, turning holy water into the wine. Drinking it down, oh yeah. I'm on a bus on a psychedelic trip, reading murder books, trying to stay hip. I'm thinking of you and you're not there, so say your prayers. Now I close my eyes and I wonder why I don't despise. Know all I can do, love what was once so alive and new, but is gone for your eyes, I better realize. Such a human waste, your eyes without a face, and now it's getting worse. So when my first common law wife broke up with me, she basically was playing me for a fool for most of the summer of '85, and really the song, I only really got it after it ended. And the idea, ladies and gentlemen, no matter what gender you are, male or female, you might have a relationship where the person is looking at you, but they're not looking at you, they're looking through you, the way they can abuse you. And I think Billy Idol was saying to his partners, whatever, he maybe was the person, eyes without a face, so I think he was thinking about himself. Because I guess, he was looking for love in all the wrong places. But the video and song is devastating. If you've never heard of it before, or ever seen the video, check it out. It's immensely, immensely great. One of the best songs of the 1980s. So that's the story of Eyes Without a Face, when Billy Idol became a pure songwriter, not writing for the record labels, but writing for something himself. And Billy Idol is very underrated as a songwriter, always has been, and a great performer. Pete Townsend once said that Billy Idol was the most underrated songwriter of the pop heavy metal generation. I think he's right. So, ladies and gentlemen, if you like what we're doing, we're behind the tracks. Let us know with a like, comment, subscribe, or share.